This is an introduction to the Git Log command, and I'll just go over some common command line options to Git Log. Git Log by itself will give you the medium-sized commit message. So it has the commit SHA, the author, the date, and the commit message for each of your commits. And it goes back by reverse date order, so the most recent ones at the top. If it's too long, it's piped through less. If you want to do fewer commit messages, you can give it -2 or -30 or however many you want. If you run --stat with it, it'll give you statistics with each file that was changed, how many lines and how many additions and subtractions there were in that file. Short stat will give you much the same thing, but just summarized onto one line. If you run git log name status, you'll get a listing of the files again, but it'll only say if they were added or modified or deleted. And this diff and -p will give you a patch. These diffs are made from that commit to its parents. There are also some interesting formatting things that you can do with git log with the --pretty command. You can say --pretty short, and it will just give you the title. So the commit, the author, it'll leave out the date, and it'll leave out the rest of the commit message. You can do one line, which will just give you the full SHA and the title of the message as well. You can do full, and that will give you even more information from the normal one. It adds the committer as well as the author, which comes into play if you're rebasing stuff or accepting patch files, I believe. You can also do --pretty equals email to get it formatted as an email that you could send out. You can also time limit the log. So if you do --since, you can say since 3 weeks ago, since 2 months ago, since whatever date range. It'll also take an until argument that we can look at in a minute here. So if I wanted to see everything from December 1st, 2007 until 2 months ago, I can do that. And that'll just give me the list of commits that fit that range. I can also say no merges, which tells me I don't want to see any commits that have more than one parent, which typically specifies that is a merge commit and not a change commit, not something that I edited content on, but something where I was merging in two different commits. So I can see that if I do it with no merges on the Git repository here, I have 1,000 less commits in that list. I can also format the output however I want to if one of those formats is not helpful, using this sort of percent keyword formatting. So %H is a short SHA, capital H is a long 40-character SHA, AN is the author name, AR is the relative date, AD, this is the author's date, and so on. So you can, there's a number of keywords you can look up on the Git website, and you can format this basically however you want to. And now you can also give it a range of SHAs. If you only want to see SHAs from this one to this one, you can do a ... syntax to provide that range. You can also use the --since and all of those as well. You can also search in these commits. So if I wanted to see only the commits since this particular SHA where the author had the string Jeff in it, I can do --author equals Jeff. I believe you can do --message as well to search through the message. And then if I wanted to actually look at this single one, I can do git show and give it the SHA of the commit, and that will just give me all of the information about the commit plus the diff. You can also give it a path limiter. So if I only want to see the commits that had to do with a specific file, I can run git log and then the name of the file. And that'll only give me commits that have to do with that, where that had that file changed from the previous commit to that commit. If I do one line, you can see it that these are the only commits in the entire Git repository that have touched this file. A change was introduced in those commits. Rev list is another way of running log, but that will only output the SHAs. So that's generally useful if you're writing a script of some sort that just needs the SHAs and doesn't need any of the other information. Git blame is another interesting tool where you give it the name of a single file and it will go through every line of that file and figure out which commit that line was last changed in. It gives you the SHA of that commit, the author, the date, and then the actual line at the end there. So if I wanted to see who wrote the strip command in this particular file, I can do that. I can see that I introduced this in my local version. This was something that I needed to add to this upload pack file, and so on. So I can see the last person that changed any file. This is very useful if you have a build that's broken and you track it down to a line, you can figure out who did it.